Hey, it's Denise with Power and Light Tarot, and today we are bringing you a destiny forecast for Elon Musk. Yes, we are. So if you like Elon Musk, then stick around, right? And so Elon Musk is a Cancer, and so his yearly forecast, his Mercury period, it has already begun, right? Mercury starts the first day, um, the day of your birth date. So, we might talk a little bit about his Mercury period. We could. He's right now, he's in his Mars period, which is, he's in his Mars period, which began on October the 10th. And we'll talk about that when we get a little bit closer to that, right? So, I wanted to really show you guys kind of how cool these are, right? And so, he really has an interesting reading or forecast, right? So this is a yearly forecast showing his 52-day cycles. He's in the third one. And let's talk about his birth card first, which is the Two of Clubs. He's an interesting person because usually most people have two planetary cards here, but he has one. And so his birth card is the Two of Clubs. And the Two of Clubs is the card of conversation. So we know he can talk because he must be able to have conversations with, I would say, with a lot of higher ups, right? He's an innovator. I guess, yeah, I would say he's definitely an inventor. He's got the Neuralink, right? And we're not going to discuss that today. No, we're not. But these people who are born with this card, the Two of Clubs, we can see this a little bit like the Two of Swords, a little bit, because the clubs are considered swords, but not everything translates exactly like the tarot. No, it doesn't. So let's look at he could be afraid of a lot of things. It's possible, but clearly he goes through with them, right? Or he fights his fears, because some people here. There's a wide variety of people with the Two of Clubs, but these are people who can carry on a conversation. They're intelligent. They are. And so they usually like intelligent mates, right? Intelligent partners. Yeah, they don't, right? And so it's really interesting here because maybe he could be afraid of change because this year he has the Ace of Spades, which is displacing him. The Ace of Spades can talk about a secret. It can talk about new beginnings as well, but sometimes it can talk about like kind of profound change. And since he is, the Ace of Spades is displacing him, he might be afraid of change this year. It's a possibility here. Excuse me. And of course it doesn't, could definitely be specific, right? And this talks about somebody who has a lot of natural abilities and gifts, I'd say so, right? Somebody who could be very exceptional in business. This also here, when we see the Two of Clubs as the birth card, in case any of you have this as your birth card, right? This is a fortunate life path. He also has another card that talks about, it could be the Seven of Spades right here. I'm going to look as we go, but he has like lucky cards, basically. He does. And so, yeah, this is somebody who has an incredible mind with the Two of Clubs. Yes, it is. Okay. This can be somebody who is charming. I feel like he is charming. Yeah, unless they are kind of afraid of something, then they can be irritable, right? Like everybody else, right? This Two of Clubs talks about somebody who has a fated life. Much of their life is fated. And I feel like most of us, all of us, have some level of fate in our lives, but some more than others. I feel like that is true. Yeah. And so, yeah. And so this is the Two of Clubs, and this is somebody who is really into their relationships. Yeah. And so what they do is. However they are behaving outwardly in their life is really a reflection of their relationships on the inside, right? So and so we have with the two here, can definitely talk about relationships, right? This is a romantic type, so he's a romantic guy. He is. Sometimes they can be a little idealistic, like they want you to be a certain way, or oh, that person is, oh, she's this, she's everything I wanted, and then they come to find out that maybe that is not the case, right? When we become too idealistic. Now here's his he has the 7 of spades here. This is his planetary ruling card. This is the card of faith. It's possible he is a big meditator, he prays, things like that, but he does give a lot of faith to whatever he does, and maybe that's why he's such a big shaker and mover, right? This is also good luck, and I said he has good luck cards, and this is it, the planetary card. The 7s are about contemplation. They are, and he can be he may be accident prone here. He could also be he has to watch out, kind of pay attention to his health. Yeah, and he likes smart people, and yeah, he might. I feel like when he marries, he is seeking somebody intelligent. Yeah. So he has financial security, but it only comes through hard work. And even though he's got a lot of luck in his life, he's 52 years old right now, I believe he is. And let's see here. Yeah, he turned 52. 52 is the most important year in your life, or at least it's a very critical year. 52 is the year when you decide to kind of face your fears and go after your passions, or you decide to remain. It can be you decide to remain kind of just living out of obligation or maybe fear. And so the 52-year mark is when people say, screw it, I'm going for my passions, because it could be that way because they feel like life is kind of getting shorter, right? Yeah. Okay, so during his year, during his critical year, this year starting in June, yeah, he has a lot of opportunities, yeah, to kind of basically face all his fears. What his fears may be, I'm not sure, but they look like they're a lot bigger than than the average person, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's see what else we have. All right, and it says he could find his true purpose, just basically by what I have said. But you might be saying, well, he probably has, but we're not sure of that, right? He could come out with something. Maybe he'll change. Maybe he'll start to do other work. Yeah, he has the 6 in his. I feel like in his long term. Let's keep moving here, and we're going to look at his long range card. The long range card, I didn't set them out here because some of these are repeaters. So the long range card for him, I believe, is let's have a look at. I think it's a 6 of clubs here. It's the 6 of spades. Okay. Yeah. So this talks about. This is like a transition with the 6 of spades. Yeah. It could talk about bringing in, it can be, it talks about a transition after a time of few changes. It's really interesting here with this card. Yeah. It talks about balancing the scales with the 6 of, so he may be, he could get exactly what he wants this year. With regard to his work, possibly with his health, right? Yeah, this is a year for him to pay attention to his health. It really is. And there's another card here that talks about that as well. He is 52. The 6 of spades is a card of fate and destiny. So this is really interesting as the long-term card, which is right here, right? But the 6 of spades is, there's something very fated for him this year. Yeah, that's coming up. Could be a year of a lot of learning for him. So let's look at his Pluto card. And there's far more to these, right? I'm just kind of, tipping the iceberg, if you will, right? So, as for time, for the sake of time. He's going to have, he has a challenge here regarding his creativity in some type of mental field or, mental, everything he does basically is mental, right? Because he's a genius, I definitely would say that. And the qualities of the Jack of Clubs, and this is what he has here as his Pluto card. So Pluto can be a little mini ending. We know that it is the planet of death and transformation. So he could be going through some type of an ending here, or, you know, possibly maybe replacing negative patterns. He could be doing that. And that could definitely be a mini ending, right? Now, this can talk about, he could be going through a spiritual awakening this year. He definitely could with the Pluto card, because it talks about higher knowledge. He also has other placements here, another placement here that speaks of higher knowledge. So maybe he's going through a spiritual awakening this year, because, you know, we don't just go through one typically. No, we don't. So let's see what else we have. But he has some type of challenge this year with his mental creativity and success, or, you know, at least I feel like he probably feels he does. All right, so his result card is something that that comes together as a blessing, basically. It's something that is usually good. It's something that will come by his next birthday, which will be June of 24. It is the gift that you get from all the hard work you did to transform yourself, or to change something that you know that you need to change it and let something go. So he has the 9 of Diamonds, and this is a great card, but it talks about releasing money worries. And how do we know? Even if he's, you know, one of the richest men, you can still have money worries, right? Just at a higher value, basically. Yeah. This talks about universal values, and this talks about, as the result card, he's going to have less worries about money by his next birthday. All right. So now we have his environment card. This is always something that is good for you. It's kind of a blessing, and something. It could be something or someone that you need to be grateful for. It could be the environment card. And, you know, this is kind of a blessing that keeps coming to you all year. Yeah, even if it's, even if it is something that is, even if the card is not a great card, right? Yeah. And so, excuse me, the environment card is basically always something good, right? I feel like he is going through some type of spiritual awakening this year, or because he also has, this card can talk about spirituality. Yeah, and this is the 6 of clubs, kind of seen as the 6 of swords, this kind of transition, but transitioning to a higher consciousness. Yeah, I feel like he is going through that. It's already been brought up here twice. He's displacing it. He has his displacement card here is the 5 of Diamonds. This talks about money as well. It can. It can talk about values. I beg your pardon, right? It's kind of like the Pentacles, the 5 of Diamonds. And so this can talk about values in here. It is a little bit more here. I feel like the 5s are about restlessness too, and change, right? Maybe seeking change, but it also, the 5 of Diamonds, especially in the displacement area, it talks about he feels some type of restlessness, and there's some area of dissatisfaction in his life. Yeah, this is a card of change in values. Yeah, he's going through a year of change, and it makes a lot of sense because he's 52, and this is a critical year. So he has some values here that are changing. Yeah, and he could be settling on something new for himself until the transition is complete, and that is by his next birthday. Okay, let's talk about his Mercury period. Started in June. We're not going to talk too much about it. We'll kind of talk briefly about it. He had the 10 of Spades here. Can talk about sudden successes, small successes, right, for the work that he has done. The Mercury period can talk about short, like Gemini, right? Short travel and, short-term travel. This is also a time of writing and mental projects, new ideas. Yeah, it's possible he had, I'm sure he has ideas a lot, but definitely. But he could have had a lot of new ideas, right? Especially with the 10 of Spades here, because that's a great card. I believe in that placement. Yeah, it is. Mental projects. So his vertical card, which is a little less important here, is the 7 of Clubs. This is contemplation. And this is him being exposed to higher ways of thinking, and and given opportunities to transform negativity into revelation. He's definitely going through a spiritual awakening this year and removing negativity from his life, but thinking from a higher perspective. Yeah, and I believe trusting his intuition more than ever, right? And yeah. Okay. And we have his Venus period started on August the 18th and 19th of this year. Venus is about family matters, right? Love, sex, anything that has to do with beauty, right? It can be the good things in life too. So here he has the Six of Hearts. This is kind of like the Six of Cups. This is a beautiful time for him starting in August, right? And on the 19th, and that period ended for him. It ended for him on October the 10th. Yeah. Yeah. So here he is. This is a beautiful, you can use the law of love and the willingness to make compromises to overcome any hurdles or obstacles in your family and romantic areas. Yeah, he's being very fair. This is a card of stability and happiness for him. It was the Venus, and he's being very kind of giving. He was with somebody. We don't know who that is, at least I don't, right? And the Eight of Clubs also, that's his second card in the Venus period. This talks about the power of his mind can bring him money and success during this period, especially with respect to women, because Venus is about women, right? Yeah. And then this can also talks about the divine feminine as well. He could see, it talks about his psychic powers being really kind of upgraded here. Yeah. So currently he's in the Mars period. The Mars period talks about, it can talk about aggressive or a sexual time in your life, right? Maybe he's having a lot of it. It's possible. We're not sure here. We're not. But it talks about physical and aggressive energies as well. Mars. It's a passionate, Aries is a passionate sign, but the Mars period can be a time of passion or aggression, because they are kind of the same a little bit, right? One, they are kind of comparable, but kind of polar opposite in a way. But they are definitely because whatever you will assert yourself in, typically you are passionate about, right? So this Mars talks about governing our relationships with men, because Mars. In general, Mars is it's a masculine, Aries is a masculine sign. This talks about kind of taking care of his legal matters. He might be dealing with legal matters right now. And whatever his card is can kind of talk about. He has the Ace of Spades here, which I believe is a good card here in the Mars period. But, right, and, because this can talk about whether or not, if he is in a legal settlement or something like that, or a legal suit or something. It's possible here. It talks about the successes or the failures, possibly, right? Now we know it talks about love because we talked about passion. He may be in a secret love affair with somebody. Yeah, or maybe a secret marriage. Maybe he's secretly married to somebody. We're not sure. We don't know. This can talk about secret work or investigative work. Maybe he is seeking something that is, maybe he's really looking into kind of, I don't know, hidden aspects of something, right, regarding his work. He could be, right? And this could be the most passionate and aggressive times for him during the year. It's really this talks about having a lot of drive, so he is probably enjoying a lot of drive for all his endeavors, right? He has a Two of Hearts in the Mars period. Wow. And the Two of Hearts is really like, it's another card here for him, is about love. It's like the Two of Cups here. This can talk about arguing, since it is in the Mars period, arguing in love. Yeah, be careful not to argue. Interesting, right? Maybe he's arguing with a secret love, right? We don't know, right? Of course we don't know. And we don't really know. And the Jupiter period is coming up for him. It starts December the 1st. It's kind of interesting how it starts on the 1st for him. The Jupiter is a period of, let's look at his cards for Jupiter here. We have Mercury and Venus and Mars. His Jupiter card here is the Six of, let's move these over here because they're not, I they're not, right? They are not part of what we are talking about right now, except of course these two cards up here for always, right? But here we have the six of, this is a time of success and money. That's what this is talking about here. He starts this on the 1st, which is what, about 7 days out here, 8 days away or 7 days away. It's in another week here. And so let's see what he has here. And he does have the 6 of spades, as I have said. This is a time of, it's kind of like the 6 of wands. Yeah, and this is, yeah, it's interesting here because it talks about a time of victory for him. Yeah, everything should be running smoothly, business, health, and financial matters. So Jupiter is a time of good luck, and here he has a good luck card. So whatever he's working on right now is all, it's gelling for him, right? All right, and this can talk about staying in his current business or something. Staying with some type of project could bring him the most rewards. Yeah, okay, let's talk about the 8 of spades he has here too as his vertical card. Wow, this is one of the strongest symbols of, this is the 8 of spades now. This is kind of like the 8 of wands. We know the 8 of wands as to be a card of success. It's a card of innovation, change, progress, possibly communication. But it's a great card, movement. Yeah, it is. And so here we see him. This is the strongest symbol of business and personal power and success. Everything is working out for him with his business right now. I feel like it is. The next Saturn period, is the next sign he's moving into, the next period, but that will be January 23rd. Let's see what he has here, because the Saturn period is a difficult time for everybody. It's a time when we learn lessons, and some of us have to learn it harder than others, right? Yeah. When the witch comes to the front door, or the warlock, right? And, and they come with, I don't know, something scary, right? But sometimes, we go through the Saturn period like that, and that's how it is, right? It's interesting, too, how everybody who gets a destiny forecast, you can also see the 13-year periods in your life. These are based on 52-day periods within the year, because it's a yearly forecast, but we also have the 13-year periods, and Saturn lasts for 13 years, Jupiter lasts for 13 years, all the periods do. So if somebody could be saying, gee, it's looking tough for me, maybe it takes 13 years for somebody to learn lessons, right? We're not sure here, we hope not, but we're just telling you how very interesting the destiny forecast and the reports are. Yeah, they are. And so here we have, what does he have here? He's got the 6 of clubs in the Saturn period, and let's have a look about it here. And the Saturn period is really the reverse of Jupiter, where Jupiter is good luck and fortune, success and money. Saturn comes in to kind of say, well, did you learn your lessons if you really want this kind of success, right? Okay, and yeah, okay, so we're talking about, so the 6 of clubs in his Saturn period, he could be feeling like he's forced into making some compromises and adjustments with other people. So it sounds like he's learning lessons, right, in relationships, possibly, maybe professional or, or personal. It talks about being careful of what you say to other people with the 6 of clubs here. It also talks about untold truths in the past, or any promises that he has made. It could be a time where he has to come clean and pay up. Yeah, really interesting here. And we also have a time when he could become more aware of his life's purpose. Now, clearly, he probably has had many, but he looks like he's going through a spiritual awakening this year, and he is 52. It is the most critical year. I'm glad I chose him, because it does really kind of, it's kind of forecasting, or not forecasting, highlighting the importance of the year 52. I find that to be interesting, because I used to always think about when I was 52, yeah, and what I would be doing. I feel like my daughter was ready to, graduate high school. Yeah, and I was thinking, well, I'm going to be on my own, and things like that. So definitely be a change. And so the Five of Spades, yeah, this is a hard card in the Saturn period. It could cause somebody. Mhm. It's possible. I mean, this talks about health issues or a journey caused by someone's illness. It's possible here that maybe he will be traveling, and somebody is. We hope not, but somebody might be sick. It can talk about that. The fives are always about change, right? That may or may not happen, you guys, but the fives are always about change. And remember, we're reading the Saturn period. This could be a time of difficult change for him. It's possible during the Saturn period, which starts, January 23rd, I believe, right? Yeah, it's not right now. And so, and just think if he saw this, he would be able to be a little bit more empowered about the times that are coming, right? The cycles that are coming for him, right? This is why it's kind of like a birth chart, right? And you guys can get your birth chart analyzed with me as well. And it's just so great to have all these kind of tools in your pocket, right? Yeah, maybe he will, we hope he has good health, but it can talk about kind of a little bit of a challenging time here. It's possible. Yeah, it's telling him it's not a good time to travel. Interesting here during his Saturn period. All right, so now we move into his Uranus period. We know Uranus is based on the 11th house, right? And this is Aquarius. Aquarius is a house of friendship. It is. It's humanitarianism. It's about the world in general. It has a little kind of internet or the frequency sign for it. That's one of them, and that is on the zodiac wheel, right? And even the Uranus that is used within the charts, the natal charts, it looks like a little frequency. It looks like a little antenna. Yeah, it does. And so these people are very they're kind of, the Uranus period can be about innovation. They're inventors. I don't know if Tesla was. I know Edison was Aquarius. They can be a little eccentric, right? But Uranus period, Uranus people are different. But this is his Uranus time. He's not an Aquarian. Yeah, Aquarians can be geniuses. They definitely can. I've known a few Aquarians, and sometimes they can fix things that they have no training, and they know how to fix electrical. They are on their own frequency, electrical things, yeah. And yeah, they think differently too. They do. They really have something to add, bring to the world. So let's see here. It looks like he had a little bit of a difficult Saturn, or he's going to have one. And now he's in his Uranus period, which starts. When does that start here? It starts March 15th for him. Everything's going to lighten up for him. Let's look at his cards. The Uranus period is usually a good time, basically. It's a time when unexpected changes can happen. So depending on your birthday out there, you may be in your Uranus period. I feel like Capricorns are in the Uranus period right now. But it's a time of change, usually good changes, unexpected changes. It can definitely be unexpected changes. A little bit like an Eight of Wands card in the tarot, it can be. And everything lightens up for him. And let's see what he has here. He has the Queen of Clubs. This is about his psychic abilities. Yes, it is. Wow. And creative influences that can bestow a lot of success in any place that he puts his mind to. Right. Yeah. Wow. He may have new ideas here. Things could come to him. This could be a time of him being very innovative because, I mean, he's a genius, and I feel like he's an inventor. Isn't he the one who did that Neuralink, right? Yeah. And I don't know what else, right? But there's other things. I feel like Starlink. I'm not really sure. Okay. Any women of the clubs? Okay. So he's not a woman, we know that. But yeah, he could be dealing with maybe a woman, a Queen of Clubs here, who can be a Queen of Swords. Yeah, who definitely could be like an air sign is possible. Doesn't have to be, but it could be somebody who is definitely embodying this energy. But these are about people. So when you get your love compatibility, it can show you who's karmic and who you have a cosmic partnership with, who was in your past life. It can really show you that with the love compatibility readings. Yeah, it's very cool. And so, yeah, this is a time of his productivity and Success for him, mental success, definitely with the Queen of Swords sitting there, the Queen of Clubs rather. And I can talk about him in a very good friendship with somebody, because remember, this is based on Uranus, and this is Aquarian basically energy, and this is the house of friendship. Yeah, it can be, some astrologers call it that. I call it a few different things, but that is one of them. It is the house of friendship. It is, Aquarians need friends. It's Librans do too, but they need friends. I mean, you could be saying, I need them too, and I'm not an Aquarian. Well, you know, everybody does, but it's really important to them. And they always have friends that are like very different. They don't just go, oh, I just like these kind of people here. No, they love everybody. Yeah, they do. And so, and they can be, you know, humanitarians. They can. Now, the Uranus period, he's got the Four of Clubs here as well. This is a grounding force for him. Yeah. And this is more satisfaction and contentment for him in his Uranus. In his Uranus period here. He could be praying here. It talks about his positive affirmations or prayers. Could be meditation for sure. Can be a healing for him. And he is going through something very spiritual this year, right? And his last period, you guys, is the Neptune period. Neptune is the last period before his new birthday. It talks about your hopes and fears, basically. And it can talk about things that we secretly want, or things we could be afraid of that will come to pass, like, right, like things will happen to us, because Neptune sometimes is like, Neptune can sometimes, Piscean energy, have fear about things that aren't even going to happen, right? So this is where meditation can really help you, right? And, you know, affirmations and things like that. Your spirituality, right? But the Neptune is not a good time to make decisions, so, you know, maybe he's won't be doing that, no, because it can talk about kind of a blurred point of view. Neptune is about fantasy. It can be making your dreams come true as well, because of the spirituality, but the inspiration aspect of Pisces, yeah, and Neptune. It's a very creative, inspiring sign. And therefore, let's see what it says here about his card. He only has one card here. He has his direct card. And it's talk about happiness and satisfaction will come through him traveling, or some type of a distant affair, right? It also indicated for him is some type of happiness here as a healer, right? He looks like he's really going through something spiritual this year. And it is interesting because it is his critical year, the year of 52. And maybe he is helping somebody heal this year, possibly. And he's, a lot of his joy this year will come from his own spirituality. Yeah. Yeah, and his psychic ability. So we're going to end this here. Now you guys, you have a pretty good idea. We also have a planetary ruling just like this for him, right? For everybody who gets a destiny forecast. And that one is, it's like the rising sign reading, basically. Or like your ascendant, right? Which is the same. It can be, or your planetary ruling, because I know that my planetary ruler is not the same as my ascendant. No, it's not. But your planetary ruler really tells it really talks about who you are. Because what we do is add up all the, you add up all the elements in your natal chart, all the, you know, the signs that you have, all the energies in your natal chart, and whatever you come up with is, comes up, you add them and you divide, and, you know, you find out what is more prominent here. For me, it's Capricorn. It is the 10th house of ambition. So, and so interesting here. And let's look briefly at his planetary cards. Let's see what they are here. Okay. And it talks about his long-range cards, all that, Pluto, the environment, like his blessings. And he's got some really good cards. His Mercury period. This is the King of Diamonds and the Queen of Diamonds. This is about money. Yeah, wow, and power here. So that was for starting in June here. It was, and and so this was his planetary card here for his year, right? The planetary, the seven of spades. But he has a whole nother reading here that we're not really going to talk about here, based on this here and all the cards that come. That would be his secondary, based on the planetary ruler. We're going to end this right now. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Get your destiny forecast. Really exciting. It's self-empowering through the self-awareness, right? It can help you with your planetary periods, the cycles that are coming for you. And also, they're on special right now. They're 50. Yeah, they are normally 110. Thanks so much for joining me, you guys. Yeah, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe.